The small town of Barrow-in-Furness in Cumbria made news earlier this year after it emerged that 12 people had died there from suspected drug overdoses in just 4 months. It had one of the highest heroin-related death rates for a number of years. Now, one man struggling with a 20-year addiction was Bobby Joe Strike. Despite wanting to get clean, he seemed resigned to his fate. But there is some good news, which we're going to tell you about in a moment. First, watch this. This is Bobby then, talking to our social affairs correspondent, Michael Buchanan.
You start getting a bit fidgety and, I start picking normally. Like normally instantly I'd start picking spots that are like not there, or I think I've got them. Okay, what we got here is it's a £10 bag of heroin and a £10 bag of crack cocaine. Wow, that's the proper stuff.
Bobby Strike, moments after injecting heroin and crack cocaine.
Seems like one's too many and a thousand's never enough.
His addiction meant he was injecting up to 6 times a day.
I've been using since I was 17 years old. I'm now 39 years old nearly.
When we met in April, there had been an unprecedented 12 drug-related deaths in Bobby's hometown of Barrow-in-Furness in just 4 months.
I mean, sometimes I will pick myself until I bleed.
The former DJ seemed resigned to his own fate.
You know the chances of you reaching old age are very slim.
Oh, I know, there's pretty limited. Very limited, in fact,
You're okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Some people think that they've got insects underneath their skin.
It's sad. It's very sad.
All I can wish you is genuinely the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And you're going to need it.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that was then, and this is now, and you look totally different.
I feel completely different as well.
I bet you do. Clean
Absolutely.
for 5 months.
Yeah. 4 months.
Congratulations.
4 months. July, yeah. July the 3rd I stopped using. I'm now actually 8 days with no methadone, no Subutex, no substitute. Not getting any sleep, but I knew it was going to come.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I feel great.
Do you?
Yeah.
And what about mentally? The fact that you've been 4 months without substitutes, heroin, whatever.
It's not been easy. It's certainly not been easy, but I certainly feel a lot stronger than I've ever done. I've just found faith, really. That's been a massive part of my journey. So, found community. Found I've got a new family. I've got my old family coming back into my life. In fact, I'm going to see my mum today. So I've not seen her for 7 years.
Really?
So yeah, good things are happening.
But you look physically different. Your hair is different. Your skin is bright. Your eyes are bright.
That's the Holy Spirit. That.
Well, that's not having heroin for
No, well, yeah.
4 months.
It's being high on life and just getting on with it and doing good deeds, really. Just getting on with life. So.
We saw in that clip you tell Michael that drugs have been in your life since the age of 17.
Younger.
Really?
Heroin was 17. Yeah.
Heroin was 17.
Yeah,
OK, so list for our audience the drugs that you have taken over decades.
Right, from 11 or 12 years old, started on cannabis. Then, as what I thought was being clever, I did LSD in a science class. I thought I'd do my own little science test. Then it was amphetamine, heroin at 17, ecstasy, LSD, ketamine, DMT, gas, glue, just anything and everything. Anything and everything. If it was going, I'd have it. Prescription drugs, never really been one for alcohol. But yeah, if it got me away from my own head and my own reality, then I was doing it. Is
that what led you down that path, you think? As a sort of trying to find a way of escaping?
It's probably a load of self-pity when I was younger. I set fire to my school when I was 5 years old and ended up in a boarding school. And I'll probably blame my mum for that, but it was me who set fire to the school, nobody else, I was a difficult one. It's about growing up, innit, as well, just, I don't know, it's about growing up.
What made the difference this time?
Well,
what was it?
Well, in that article just then, it was saying that 12 people had died between December and April. It's actually now 15. The numbers have risen. Seeing myself on the TV put things into perspective a little bit, You
So
know.
seeing you like that
Absolutely.
with Michael.
Yeah. It took me a couple of months after the article. I mean, it went out in April and it was July that I finally stopped. But I can see other people's faults, they can see mine, but I can't see my own. You know, but seeing it on TV and from that perspective it hit home.
But what did you see that made you think, I've got to get off the heroin?
I was going to die. It's pure and simply that. That was it. It was either that or I was going to die. There's a saying, jails, institutions and death. I've done the other two. I don't really want to do the third one, you know, and it was close. It was close, very close, in fact.
Bobby Joe Strike, who I met yesterday. Thank you for your many messages.